Alright, so in this video we'll be going over the never broke again method, or the NBA method, no young boy. So once you start making money in the market, you start profiting a decent amounts. You guys need to be knowing where to allocate your money, how to actually, let your money grow so you don't go broke and start spending all your money, in a bad manner. I see lots of people that start making money in the stock market, they start buying, watches, etc. They don't have that solid foundation going, and they start losing all their money because they never had that foundation built, and they weren't following the never broke again method. So let's get straight into it. So the first step of this, again, bare minimum. If you guys are making like less than $5,000, $6,000, I wouldn't recommend the system. There's probably not too much money coming in and out of your bank accounts, and it's probably just gonna clear things up and make things more convoluted than they need to be. Once I started making about like $10,000, $15,000 per month, this is when I started implementing this method, the never broke again method, and I was able to really track my money and where it was going. Because some months, especially like back in June, July, I had two really great trading months. So I had about like $40,000, $50,000 moving in and out of my bank accounts both those months. So it can be hard to track everything, where the money's going, where money should be going. So just having 5 bank accounts allows things to be much more streamlined, and I'm never really confused on where's money going. Because sometimes I have transfers going for $5,000 some days. I have transfers going for a couple $1,000s. So when those transfers move out unexpectedly, or I'm not prepared for them, I have to go searching down where all the money came from. But now that I have 5 bank accounts, I move all the money where it makes sense. I can track everything really accordingly. But again, if you guys are making like less than $5,000, wouldn't really recommend this. The percentages won't really make too much sense, and I just recommend building your income to a higher level, where this starts making more sense. Because after a certain point of like $10,000, if you keep your baseline expenses relatively limited, like you're not buying new cars, you're not financing a bunch of stuff, it's kind of like an accordion in the sense that your fixed expenses will stay the same amount, and then the other expenses like investing, savings, etc. will grow like an accordion, where the fixed expenses will stay relatively neutral. Like for me, for example, my rent's relatively small, and like $2,000 per month. I have a paid off car, so I don't really worry about that. And I have like some trading tools like TradeZella, Benzinga Pro, health insurance. So those are really my own fixed expenses where I have to worry about them each and every month. So that's why once I start making more money, the percentages kind of change like an accordion. But yeah, let's get into the next step here. So the first thing I recommend if you guys are just getting started here, again, making like $10,000 per month, I would open up one main business account where all your money is deposited to. So personally, I use Bank of America. You can use Chase, Wells Fargo, etc. Whatever makes the most sense for you. But I found Bank of America pretty straightforward. So this is where all the money gets deposited into. So for example, you're getting a deposit from your trading account of $10,000. This is where the money, the $10,000 will hit all in one wire transfer. Then you can start moving around from there. So you got $10,000 now. So here's how I would allocate it based off $10,000 in my experience. So again, let's start off with expenses here. So this is just like they said, the fixed expenses you have to cover each and every month to survive. Again, like rent, utilities, groceries, insurance. You can't really negotiate these things and get rid of them. You kind of have to have all these things unless you want to starve yourself. The stack or starve method. The stack or starve method's pretty good some in the past. Back in like 2020, 2019, I was in the stack or starve method. Where I was just eating like one meal a day, just saving my money and starving. But once your income starts growing, you can get off the stack or starve method and go with the never broke again method. So again, there's balance to everything. So again, like I said, keeps all your essential bills covered. Keeps your lifestyle inflation in check. This is one common thing I see a lot of people out there, especially in the trading space. Again, they have one really good month and they just start blowing all their money again on like watches, jewelry, etc. And they don't have anything else going for them just besides all the material things they bought. And this avoids dipping into savings or investments for basic needs, and it forces discipline. If it's not in this account, you can spend it pretty much. And then you can see there's a bunch of arrows going up here, which I'll get to in a second. And obviously 25%, the tax man has to get paid. So make sure you're saving at least 25-30% for taxes. So again, $10,000, setting aside $2,500 per wire, and prevents tax time surprises. Obviously, if you guys are self-employed or 1099, works great for self-employed or freelance income. It keeps the money separate so you never accidentally spend it, and it's peace of mind knowing your tax is already covered, not to go take out a loan to cover your taxes. Again, so like this one, I have a different account for this one, obviously. For my taxes and my savings, or taxes in particular, I use Goldman Sachs Marcus to put my taxes in. So every time I get paid, I just wire some money or transfer some money, ACH transfer to my Marcus Goldman Sachs account, and then that just keeps my money there until tax season, where I just pay all my taxes. You could do quarterly taxes, but I don't really have to. I haven't really looked into it too much, but I just do yearly taxes. It's been working well for me. Haven't had any problems, so that's what I like to do. And then the third bank account or third account, or the fourth account rather, is investing. So again, you're making $10,000 per month. You're putting $2,500 in the stock market. Whether that be maxing your Roth IRA, and then once you max your Roth IRA, you contribute the rest of the money to a taxable broker account. This builds a long-term wealth automatically. Requires no thinking. So for my long-term accounts, I use M1 Finance. I'll make another video on this because I just hit past another milestone. So with M1 Finance, it requires me to do no thinking. I just deposit the money there. It buys everything automatically for me. It weights my account as I need, and then I can just go on with my day without ever having to manually go in there and fix things. So I recommend just dollar cost averaging the stocks, ETFs, or like I said, Roth IRAs, traditional Roths, SEP IRAs, etc. So especially depends on your age, but if you guys are like 20, 25, 30, I think high growth names are the way to go. Names like, I think Nvidia has a lot of growth personally, but it's at $4 trillion market cap right now, so it's tough to say how much more growth it could be. I still have all my Nvidia shares, but again, just find some growth plays you like, or names that have consistent returns year over year. Names like Apple, Microsoft, the Mag 7 names, Meta, etc. This could include growth assets or passive income plays. So depending on where you're at, I wouldn't really recommend dividend investing too much until you have like $1 million plus, because dividends aren't really that cool until like you have a decent amount. Like I said, save like $1 million. Then you can just live off the dividend income and you'll retire. But if you guys are still in the hyper growth phase, you're still relatively young, I recommend doing growth assets that have good numbers, good financials, and they're growing year over year at a rapid rate. So names like Nvidia. Like I said, I buy Nvidia at $12 pre-splits. Now it's up about 2,000%. So just kind of all good on that end. But again, just depends on your goals and like where you're at in life. So if you're pushing like 40, 50 nearing retirement, probably wouldn't be going into hyper growth names like Nvidia or Tesla. I'd be a bit more passive, but again, that's just comes down to your own financial situation. This is what I'm doing, what I found working well for me. That's how I've been able to grow my taxable broker account so quickly, because I've invested in the really high growth names. I caught Nvidia early on. I'm in Microsoft, I'm in Tesla, all those big names that have lots of growth and good returns year over year. Obviously the goal for this account is to never be touched. It's for your future. So like I said, this account is always in the background, just building your wealth and building your net worth over time. So I've never pulled money out of my long-term broker account. It's just been sitting there, just been building it year over year, brick by brick. And then once I get to that point where I'm not sure, maybe like $1 million, $2 million. Then I can just transfer in some like quote unquote safer names, get some more dividend yields and level of dividends. But I'm not there just yet, so I'm still focused on growth and growing this account towards like $1 million, as I mentioned. And like I said, if you guys are just getting started, you're making like $5,000. Again, kind of have to figure out these numbers for yourself. But if you guys are making like $5,000, investing like $1,000 per month is cool. It can get you a decent amount in the future, but it's not going to build your wealth too quickly, especially if you're just getting started. So especially if you guys are making not that much money right now, like I said, $4,000, $5,000, I'd recommend, rather investing in ETFs or like putting like $100 away in the stock market, I'd look at investing in yourself, like a business or anything that can grow your income and be beneficial for yourself in the future. So that could be like masterminds, it could be buying a reputable course, buying stuff that can help you, grow, like books, etc., reading, getting knowledge from other people. Whatever way you can find to grow your knowledge and grow your skills to make more income is going to be the crucial factor here to actually get into the never broke again method and never having to rely on pulling money out of your account. So like I said, whether it be ETFs, investing in yourself, investing in a business you're trying to build, just find some way to put 25% of your income away into building for yourself and building for your future, where you can hopefully leverage this money a bit more aggressively in the future and your skills more aggressively. And then 20% goes to fun money. So guilt-free spending, like I said, travel, nightlife, shopping, hobbies. It keeps you deprived while from saving. So again, tracking this net worth number, your investing account can get really boring after a while. You're not spending your money enjoying the money you've actually worked hard for. So that's why I recommend just having 20% set aside for fun money. So again, with $10,000, it'd be back $2,000 per month. And then you can still do a bunch of cool things and get a bunch of cool experiences. So like you can travel to, I don't know, Miami, Vegas. I fly first class personally, but again, you can just find ways to make this work with a $2,000 fun money account. Again, as this number scales, you can do a bit more with it, obviously. So like I said, the past 2 months, 3 months alone, I made about $70,000 in the stock market. So this 20% is about like 25,000. So like I said, this past weekend I just rented a boat for everybody. And that was a bunch of fun. So a really cool experience for everybody involved. So again, it just depends on where your percentages are and where you're at. and makes this method sustainable long term. And if you don't spend it all, it rolls over for bigger purchases like buying a watch, down payments for a house, etc. And this is where all these arrows come from. So again, this 30% expenses. So hypothetically, like I said, my expenses are relatively low. So the extra money I don't need for my expense category, I can just reroute that back into the investing account and invest more money in the stock market. Or if I don't spend all the fun money for that month, I can reroute that money back in the investing account. So either way, because I have these percentages set up, the money I don't spend or is getting set aside or left over each month, it's automatically going back into my investing portfolio, my main account, and it's still growing my money passively for me without me having to think about it. So that's why the system works, because all the leftover money that's not getting spent or saved, it just goes back into buying growth names that have great returns year over year, and it's growing your money for you each and every day, hopefully in the stock market, and getting some really big numbers here. So just for example here, like I said, I made about $60,000-$70,000 the past few months here in the market. So since May, when I had that really great run through June through like July, August has kind of been slow personally, but because all these percentages are set up for me, so since May 29th right here, you can see I've invested about $27,000 back into my stock portfolio, and then the market's gained about $32,000 in this account. So I've been able to pass the $300,000 mark in this portfolio just because my income's grown, or my money I've made the last 2 months has been really substantial, personally. So because I made more money, obviously that accordion expanded. I was able to invest more money in the stock market into my taxable broker account. So I was able to get that $300,000 mark extremely quickly. It was one of my goals for the year, and I've reached that target pretty quickly. It is really crazy, just a side note here, but this account was at like 180,000 on Liberation Day when the whole market crashed. And since Liberation Day, it's been about 4 months. Yeah, it's been 4 months since Liberation Day, 4.5. And I've got almost $120,000 returned back in this account. So really cool to see how fast things can grow, especially once you get that snowball rolling, which is why I recommend building that investing account as quick as possible and scaling as fast as possible, because this is where you start seeing those real returns. Some days in this account in particular, I've seen returns of over $20,000, $5,000, $6,000. It's a single day without me having to think about it. Just wake up and I'm automatically making $6,000 some days on like 2% day on the NASDAQ. So again, this is why it's important to build this as soon as possible, as young as possible. Because once I start hitting like 30, 35, 40, this account will probably be at like $500,000. Probably sooner than that, but maybe 600, 700,000, hopefully $1 million soon by 30. I'm praying for it, working towards it, but again, these numbers get exponentially bigger. Again, a 10% return on $300,000 is $30,000, but 10% return on $10,000 is only $1,000. So again, once that snowball gets rolling downhill, that's when those numbers start getting larger and larger, and you start making more and more money in your sleep without you having to think about it. It's just really stress-free money. And why this method works: the system makes sure your essentials are covered, your taxes are handled before you spend, so paying yourself first, and it keeps your money working through your investments and not spending too much money on dumb things. Again, I like buying cool stuff, clearly, but it makes sense with the amount of money I'm making. I wasn't buying a bunch of chains and buying a bunch of jewelry when I had no money, or was, on the stack or starve method. I didn't start buying cool things for myself until I started making $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 per month consistently in the stock market and went through other business ventures. But then as my income started to grow, I had more money built in the fund money buffer that I could buy more things for myself and actually enjoy the money I'm making without me having to stress about my investment account. And plus, having a fund money allowance keeps you motivated, it rewards your hard work and prevents burnout, all while making sure you never touch the money you built for building long-term wealth. So like I said, it can get really boring and monotonous just checking your numbers on the screen every single day and not doing anything with it, which is why I recommend having some money set aside to have fun with, go out to eat, go out to the bars with your friends, get drinks. There's nothing better, in my opinion, than going out to the bar or going out to the club or something like that. Being able to buy drinks for everybody in your group and not having to think or be guilty about it, like you just overspent or you're going to credit card debt for it. Because you have the money set aside for these exact things, have fun money budget. I can just go up to the counter, I can just buy drinks for everybody in the group, and then I can just don't even think about it because I've set aside this money just for this particular reason. And it's not me pulling out money from my investment accounts or anything like that. It's exactly built for this reason, to have fun, reward my hard work, and it's preventing me from burning out by doing the same thing every day, which is staring at charts and talking inside of Discord and stuff like that. And then make sure you're always building you're building long-term wealth and not touching your investment accounts. So hopefully that made sense for you guys. This is the never broke again method. Again, as these numbers start to change for yourself, you can adjust these numbers, like I said, like an accordion. Really good metaphor there. So hypothetically, you start making $20,000. You can, again, hopefully keep your fixed expenses relatively low. So if you're making $20,000, you probably don't need, you know, $6,000 for your expenses, hopefully. They could reduce this number back to 15%. They'll up your investing back up to like 40% or like 35%, and change this fund money budget to like 25%. So again, you can always be adjusting your money, you know, where it's going, how it's allocating. You know, always keep taxes around 25-30%, whatever, you know, your tax bracket you're in. But again, your fixed income expenses should be relatively low, shouldn't really be changing too much. You know, try to avoid lifestyle inflation as much as possible. Then you're investing in your fund money, you should be the ones expanding. And you know, when you start making more money and you start doing cool things with it. You know, me personally, I don't have any interest in buying, you know, cars. I don't have any interest in buying a house right now. Obviously, it'd be a goal in the future, but I have no interest at this point in time. So really just goes to buying, you know, cool things, like putting money back into watches, things that can hold their value, look nice, buy clothes, do cool things, experiences like buying a boat, renting a yacht, like I said, traveling. So that's just kind of how I'm allocating my money right now. It's been working for me. And like I said, this is just one account of mine, but this is the account I always share with you guys. Obviously, my main taxable broker. Like I said, this account was about $60,000 3 years ago in 2022, and I've grown nearly $250,000 in 3 years. I'll make another video update on this probably next week. But again, just goes to show you guys lock in, focus on one skill, growing your income, growing your skills. You can grow things pretty quickly just by following the never broke again method and locking in, having multiple bank accounts, tracking where your money is going, and having that accordion where everything is expanding and tracking as it makes sense based on your income fluctuations. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. Be sure to drop a like, comment, subscribe, and stay tuned for the next video. Peace.